What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again, and I'm here to react to the Sideshow Con, taking place 2023. First Sideshow Con, as far as I'm aware. We're going to react to the first 2 days, the things that they have shown thus far in the first 2 days. Guys, of course, check out the Sideshow Collectibles YouTube channel and Facebook group for more information on these videos. If you want to watch the full thing, check out the YouTube channel. If you want more information, check out the Facebook group. Of course, Sideshow Collectibles, everyone knows about them. But nonetheless, guys, we are going to react to their content, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be pretty cool to kind of go over what we've seen thus far in the first 2 days, talk about whether we're happy with it, just general overall thoughts. Let's get started. So you can see the Sideshow Con, really cool graphics, by the way, what they've done so far with the first 2 days. I really, really like it. So you can see here, we got the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is nothing super new than what we have already anticipated or seen. We knew Nebula had already been announced, Star-Lord had already been announced, Rocket and Cosmo had already been announced, same with Groot. The Drax and the Mantis are actually not announced yet, so probably will be at some point. I would assume so anyway. If you want a Drax, this is, I guess, going to be your best bet. What they did, it looks like to me, is just reuse the head sculpt, and now they don't have to do the tattoo body because he has sleeves and an actual outfit. So not going to be the same as the previous one that was obviously shirtless with joints. But yeah, this Star-Lord looks great. So really, really cool about that. I still don't like this rocket. It looks very cheap to me. It looks like a reused parts from the original. I like Rocket in this outfit, but Hot Toys very much sort of, I would say, half-assed that Rocket. It looks very dated. The Cosmo looks pretty decent. Groot actually looks pretty cool. I actually like how this Groot looks, especially with all these accessories with the arms going out like that and the guns. I think this is pretty cool. This is a unique Groot. I still don't think it's the definitive Groot. I think that's Guardians 1 Groot. I think that's just the best look for Groot. This Drax, that's the same head sculpt from prior. They didn't change anything. You can tell it still looks a little bit dated. I hope they do update it, but if they do announce it, I don't know if I would expect that. This Nebula, yeah, I mean, people didn't really seem to support the first Nebula the way that I think everyone thought they were going to, because of the sheer volume and characters that were made of every one ever, as far as Marvel, Star Wars, and DC, everything else. So Nebula was not actually one that I think most people are going to be lining up for, but I do think this looks good. The accessories are pretty cool, sort of with the wings and the metallic arm and all that. Mantis, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess you would only make this for completionists, because I think most people are probably only going to get one Mantis or no Mantis. And if you had to pick one, it wouldn't be this one. You would get the one that would have the green outfit from the Christmas special, that you could use the more typical, lively, exciting Mantis. The green outfit just pops a little bit more, but I'm glad they're making this for a completionist. Okay. A lot of people messaged me about this Loki on Throne, and this is something I wanted to share my thoughts about. So I'm very disappointed with it, and I'll explain why. This throne is pretty dope, actually. I do hope they maybe sell this throne separately. It would be something I would consider, maybe putting the Endgame Loki in front of it. This is the President Loki head sculpt that they have popped on, it sure as hell looks like it anyway, popped onto the Endgame Loki body, and they put him on a throne. Iron Studios released this in 10 scale, but they did it more accurately, and it still didn't sell. They've been discounting that thing like crazy for a while now. And the reason I'm not really over the moon about this, I'm not excited about this, because this looks very rushed and very half-assed to me. I think that this is Endgame Loki with the President Loki head sculpt on it. Does it look good? Yeah. Is it inaccurate? 100% it is. This Loki outfit, it should either be Thor 1 or Thor 2. Thor 1 Loki would have been an interesting choice. I would have really loved that. Make it exclusive. You don't have to release a ton of them. There's a lot of Lokis out there. His Thor 1 outfit was really, really cool, and he sat on the throne in that film. Thor 2 outfit, also really cool. Could probably use an updated look and head sculpt and tailoring and all that, because that figure I liked, but it looked dated. So they had decided to just take the most recent Loki, Endgame Loki, and put the President Loki head sculpt on him, which is highly inaccurate, and just put it on the throne. So it just looks very mishmashed and thrown together. Does it look decent? Yeah. Are people actually going to go for it? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of Lokis out there right now. I'm not even sure this gets made, but if it were to get made, I think it would be very dicey at best as to whether people would support it. I'm the biggest Loki fan out there, right? And I probably would not even get this because the amount of space it would take up. If you gave me a Thor 1 Loki that had a unique look and you gave me the throne so I could sit him on it, yes, I'd probably be in. But if you give me the same Endgame Loki just with the President head sculpt, I'm not as thrilled about that. For one, it's inaccurate, and two, it's pretty readily available, so it's nothing really new. Iron Man, the Origins Collection. This is actually pretty cool to me. I would never, ever buy something like this, but I am excited that Hot Toys is doing something new. It does look a little toyish to me, I'm not going to lie, but I will say there are a lot of comic fans out there who collect these Hot Toys, and certainly a lot of Iron Man fans. So if you're going to do another Iron Man, hey, I mean, make it something new and unique like this. I don't love it. It looks kind of toyish to me, but like I said, just because it's not for me doesn't mean that I have to, cast it out entirely. I do think this could be for a particular audience, and I do think this could be something that moves, not like a typical Iron Man, but still for the comic heads, maybe trying to introduce people to new hot toys. I think you could consider this, right? I actually really like these two Spider-Man. I like that they made them exclusive. I like that Hot Toys is trying something different, and I like that they're trying to do something new. The Spider-Man, the advanced suit here looks greatly improved. I will say the body looks better. The material looks better. I had the original advanced suit Spidey, and I liked it. I loved the game, but this looks a lot better. The mechanical arms, obviously that's going to take up a lot of space, but does it look dope? 100%. You're probably never going to fit that into a DTOF, but if you could fit it into a Module case or something else, you could do that. The Miles looks very similar to the last one. I've not owned that Miles, but it looks very similar. That's why I'm glad they made it exclusive. Like, give it something maybe slightly unique, maybe it's slightly better tailoring, a different material, and then make it exclusive and give it something rare. This Indiana Jones is actually pretty cool. People have kind of ragged on this a little bit just because it's an old Indy compared to a younger one. However, the real leather, the base is dope. The head sculpt, it looks like a reuse of The Force Awakens. However, it's fine because that head sculpt is amazing. If that sculpt is amazing, I'm not as diehard about reusing it. But yeah, I mean, that looks great. That head sculpt is like pretty damn close to a 10. It's like a 9.5 at least. This got some Mando figures here. It looks like to me, we got some more Mandalorian type characters, a female and then a male Mando. We got IG-12, a droid, and maybe a new armor. It'd be interesting to me that they would make a new armor because the first one, I think maybe it was the single joints. I don't know. I'm not sure people really supported the first one as much as I would have thought. Because the armor is a cool character, not something I would buy, but a lot of people do love the armor, and she has a lot of presence. So it's a cool looking figure, but I'm surprised that they're making a second one, to be honest. But they're making another IG-12 versus IG-11. So I guess I'm not anything Mando. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They're probably going to make it. So you got those little Babu Frick type characters. I always forget what they're called, but they're pretty cool. So we got R5-D4 for the droid collectors out there. There it is. Anzellan Droid Smith life size. I'm actually a little surprised this is, well, actually, no, we don't know it's going to be made. So I would assume it probably is not going to be made, but I'm a little bit surprised they're even flexing it because who's really asking? Are there people asking for a life size Anzellan Droid Smith? Maybe, but I'm not sure it would be that integral to your collection. Sand Trooper and Dewback, right? This is dope, actually. I would not buy this, but this Dewback is actually really, really cool. So shout out to PJ Paradox Nerd. He's been wanting a Dewback, I think, ever since the day he was born. And then now he's finally getting one, hopefully, if they actually make it. But I think they maybe, I don't know, maybe they will. But I mean, after what happened with the Blurg, maybe not, because that Blurg maybe didn't go as well as they thought it would. But I think the Dewback is actually quite a bit cooler than the Blurg. The Blurg looks like a big space fish. This actually looks like a big space lizard, which is actually kind of cooler. And I like it. The Trooper, yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Trooper guy, so to me, that's just, you could put any Trooper up there and it would just be a Trooper. But I do think the Dewback is actually pretty freaking dope. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there. The Flash and this Batman have always looked good. I think both of these figures look good. I really don't like the film at all, but that they're not for me. But this Keaton Batman is dope. I'll be interested to see after the film, though, are people really going to support it in the way that they might have thought they were going to prior to seeing the film. A lot of people still love the film, but a lot of people didn't. So it was very mixed reviews, very divisive, I guess you could say. But that head sculpt, can't deny that. Nothing polarizing or divisive about that one. So anyway, guys, so we got the first day out of the way. Let's get into day 2 real quick. I'm going to go ahead and close out day 1. We're going to go ahead and touch on day 2. So let's react to day 2. Okay, so day 2 Sideshow Con, we got Ant-Man figures, right? So just off the bat, okay, MODOK, we got Kang, we knew about Kang, we knew about Wasp, we knew about the Ant-Man. MODOK is very much a surprise to me. I'm not entirely convinced this one is going to get made. However, I mean, if they've already put this much work into it, maybe, I can't deny it looks good. It certainly looks good, which we will talk more about it. Ant-Man, I feel this is probably going to be a very, very small batch for Ant-Man. Same goes with Wasp because there's already multiple versions of each one. Is this the definitive or iconic version for either one? Maybe the Wasp has some pretty cool yellow coloring on this one. I think this one maybe is a little bit poppier, like it pops more than the previous version. But most people who have a Wasp are probably just going to stick with what they have, I would assume. But the figure looks great. So I don't think that's going to be a super big batch on those two. I think those are going to be very, very small. Kang, looks pretty great, actually, especially with the head sculpt. Kang is really, really cool. I'm excited to see what they do with his character moving forward. The Jonathan Majors thing is still we're still figuring out what's actually going on with that. But, when they do resolve the whole situation, guilty or not, I guess we'll see what they do with Kang. But Loki's coming out soon, season 2. This MODOK, I can't deny it looks fantastic. It looks better in figure form than it did in the film. I said to a couple of friends, I was like, the MODOK in the film set CGI back 20 years. Like the MODOK in the film, it looks very rough. It looks super, super rough, and it was very jarring to watch. This Black Panther is actually not bad. I think it's pretty cool. I would not buy it. But again, I do like that Hot Toys is literally making a transformer. They're making a figure that you can transform into multiple different versions. I think it's pretty cool. This Shuri looks dope. They've obviously took a page out of the Killmonger book here. The color scheme looks somewhat similar. This is a really cool figure. Shuri looks dope. They obviously have not gotten the new updated Spider-Man 2099 with the fabric suit. However, the jointed version is there, looking as rough as always. And we got the Miles Morales, which looks great. Gwen, that looks great. Miles looks like they used the same body, though, which is, maybe I'm wrong, but it's just what it looks like on first take. If so, that would be a little bit disappointing. But, not the end of the world. Spider-Man 2099, though, that figure is a travesty, but I'm glad they're fixing it. Thank you, Hot Toys, for that. Grogu with Pram, life-size figure. I think this is pretty cool, actually. This is probably the best Grogu that has been done in life-size as far as, like, Sideshow, Hot Toys, whatever. I don't know if other companies or third-party companies have made them, but this Grogu looks pretty dope. They made him look slightly aged here, slightly older to me, but the Pram is dope. I love the fact that it lights up like that. This is going to be very much a really cool display piece. I would assume with the Pram, you're looking at maybe $600 for this, but I guess we'll see. If it even gets made at all, I think it might get made, though. Death Star Trooper and Attention Block. I heard this was actually teased before. This is pretty cool, actually. I like the diorama piece of this whole thing. I have no interest in this whatsoever, but I do think this is pretty unique by Hot Toys. I'm starting to worry it might be a flex, though, and that is never going to see the light of day, but I guess we'll see. There's Kiko's Blue Batman. Not a fan. Even seeing it now, I like it a little bit more than I did originally. I like the base. I think the bats they took from Morbius is pretty cool. The Wonder Woman, the hair looks better here, certainly, than it had in previous pictures and video I'd seen. That Blue Batman, I just don't like that color scheme. It's not my thing, but I do think it's cool for those who want it. It's not for me, but it doesn't mean it's not for someone else. So, but I don't like it. This Wonder Woman, I think, it's probably the best Gal Gadot they've done, besides maybe the training armor. But I'm still not crazy about that hair, which we will talk more about. I'm not crazy about that that patent Sideshow hair. So, yeah, guys, let's talk a little bit more about some other things. Let's move right along here. There is, Tested put out a video that I wanted to showcase to you guys. So this is Adam Savage's channel, Tested, and Norm from Adam Savage's show, and he's there with Sideshow with Amy there, and you can see they go over a bunch of different stuff in the Sideshow Con booth. Pretty cool. So they showed the Clint Eastwood line, the Guardians line, which we already talked about. They showed just more details on the figures, that I think is pretty cool. You can see there the Drax. The head sculpt's good, but it certainly looks a little dated in the paint apps, just the overall sculpting. I think it could use an update. Mantis looks great. I think she looks really, she's slightly pale, but I think that's just how her character looks. So nothing really abnormal there. There's that Loki on the throne. Look, does it look decent? Yeah, but without and that's why you can clearly tell that it's TVA Loki, because President Loki, because if it weren't, you could put the helmet on him, and the fact that they're not putting the helmet on him shows that they can't put the helmet on him, because they just took a head sculpt from another body basically and threw it on this one. So I just think it looks very half-assed to me. That's how I would describe it. But I do like the throne. It's pretty cool. If they sell the throne separately, I would consider it and just maybe have Loki stand on it or stand in front of it or something. I think that would be pretty dope. MODOK, I can't deny, looks cool. MODOK looks cool. I don't know that there's a huge market for MODOK based on what Ant-Man did at the box office and how the audience, what the audience reception was to it. But can't deny Hot Toys did an amazing job here. They did an amazing job on a figure that may never get released, that people probably don't care about. But if they do, that's great. Let's see here. That looks pretty cool. They got the blurg. They really want to sell the blurg. They're like, please take the blurg. We'll give it to you if we have to. And there's this cool Spider-Man line, and you can see that Gimli half scale in the back. Pretty nice. That's Infinity Studios. They show that, which I'll show in a little bit later of a video. You can see the Spider-Man figures there. Okay, so we got the advanced suit Spidey, the exclusive one. I think that went up for sale today. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up. I'm pretty sure that went up though. So if you did get one, congratulations. I know Kiko got a Miles. So, and now they're going to showcase the Anakin, which we will talk about the Anakin. I'm going to show some photos too, but you can see Norm here talking about the Anakin hair, and this is the photo. So, okay. Here's what I would say. The promo photos, which I'll show in a second. I'll pull those up real quick. The promo photos certainly look much better, right? But when you're looking at the Sideshow booth, Sideshow probably spent at least a little bit of time, refining the hair and brushing it and styling it and so forth to make it look as ideal as possible for this Sideshow con, right? So when you get this figure in hand, the hair is probably going to look maybe this good or worse, and probably worse. And then you're going to have to put some effort into it. I think if you don't put effort into it and it just looks like this, or at least you put a little bit of effort into it and you don't put significant effort into it, and it looks like this, it's very disappointing. The head sculpt looks incredible. I think the head sculpt is a bang on 10. It's pretty damn close to it, at least, right? That's Hayden Christensen. And the Hot Toys has never struggled with Hayden Christensen, ever. They've always done well with Hayden. But the hair, it's certainly an improvement. It's certainly an improvement from Hot Toys' previous rooting work, and clearly InArt has had an effect on Hot Toys, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be making these Star Wars Legends in premium sort of format, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. The rooted hair, it looks sort of Anna Karen-ish. I'm not gonna lie, just because of the amount of volume with the hair. So maybe you would have to even send it to someone to trim, or maybe you could style it. Maybe you could just do something with it. But first glance at this, not overly thrilled with it. I'm thrilled with the head sculpt. I'm thrilled with the tailoring. I hope it's real leather. It sounds like it might be. Hot Toys put out some promo pics this morning though, and it could have possibly been because they saw the Sideshow Con booth and they were like, well, that hair doesn't look too great, so we're going to put out our own picks because we want to set the record straight and show that it does actually look great. You just got to style it right, because this photo looks a lot better at this angle, right? You look at this angle though, I don't feel as great about it, right? I don't feel as great about that particular angle because of the amount of volume in the hair, and here there's something about it that just seems off to me. But look at this angle. It looks fantastic. It looks great. So I think Hot Toys is improving. I think they're evolving, and I think InArt has played a significant role in that. So as much as praise as I've given InArt and much criticism I've given InArt, we have to give them some praise in this case, because they have clearly pushed Hot Toys to the point where they are going to evolve and change things. And maybe the market played a role in this too, because of the amount of sitting and less pre-ordering and whatever. And I'm just like, people want more premium figures, so maybe we'll make less of them, but charge more. That could be what's going on here. And they have to keep up with the market demands. Realism is always going to be a moving metric, and it's going to be a moving target. And that's kind of what I think is happening here with this Anakin. So these promo pics compared to this promo video, very, very different, right? So I'm interested in this Anakin. I'm starting to wonder if it might be exclusive, where they might limit it to maybe a pre-order window or maybe a certain number. I don't know. Maybe they might make these figures a little more exclusive and make it sort of a premium line. That has been discussed on this channel before. The idea was originally floated to me by Carlos. So it does make sense the more you look at it, considering what's going on with everything. So yeah, I mean, that's Indiana Jones they talked about. That's pretty cool. The base looks dope. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in the first couple of days there. But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything we've shown thus far. I'm going to show some more stuff because I promise you there are more goodies to look at. Not too much more, but there will be other things. So give me one sec. I'm just going to share the screen a little bit. They showed a couple other things maybe outside of 1/6 scale. So you can see here, this is the Infinity Studios showcase. So they're showing Batman. It's a Christian Bale bust. So it's a 1-to-1 Christian Bale bust. Busts, I feel like maybe are a little bit dicey right now just because of how expensive they are, and people have so many competing priorities when it comes to collecting. So it's just difficult. This does look good. Not crazy about the hair though. The hair looks a little bit off. Infinity might have to go back to the drawing board on the hair. I think the likeness is pretty much mostly there, like 85%, but the hair certainly looks questionable. This boy right here though, this Witch King, guys, I saw this video and I was so excited. I have not pre-ordered this and I don't think I'm going to, unfortunately, but I absolutely love how this looks. The light up feature is incredible. The reason I'm not going to get it is because I would have to sell Sauron, and technically, based on the measurements that are on the website, this guy is too wide for my module case, which is pretty remarkable because it's a pretty wide and tall and deep case. However, this boy would be too wide. I think it's because the sword. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be one that I bring home. I would love to, but just I don't have the space, unfortunately. But look at that light up. Holy cow. Look at the details. I think this is incredible. I think this Witch King is a work of art. The price is remarkable for it. It doesn't have a head sculpt rather, so that's probably why. But the detailing and just the armor and the sword and everything involved, and this is a half scale, so this is a big boy here. I think this piece is pretty remarkable. And the Gimli looks fantastic too. This one's actually not as large, not as big of a footprint because it's Gimli, right? He's a dwarf. So I think this is pretty cool. Infinity is doing some really cool stuff. I'm interested to see if they continue the half scale line. Half scale seems to be going by the wayside a little bit, but Infinity seems to be committed. So we're definitely going to see if that's a scale that people continue to go with. So couple more things, guys, so stick with me. There's a few more things that I want to go over here. So there are RoboCop, it's PCS, RoboCop, and Ghostbuster statues. So PCS is the community darling right now for statue collectors. They're really liking what they're doing, offering certain discounts, offering new pieces that people really want. So very excited to see PCS doing some things that get collectors excited. I would love to see them revisit Mortal Kombat, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion. So PCS, if you're listening, that's what I would be interested in. These Ghostbusters look great. That RoboCop looks great. The head sculpts on these are actually pretty solid. That one, decent, right? But this other one is, let me see here. Yeah, Egon. It's Egon. That one is much better. Really like it. The paint apps, not exactly perfect, but pretty solid. I like what PCS is doing. It's a pretty solid piece, so I really can't complain. I'm not a big Ghostbusters guy to begin with, but for the people who are into Ghostbusters, I could see this as something you might pick up. This is pretty cool. So yeah, guys, let me share one more thing. There's one more thing I think that was of interest here that I had seen anyway. And maybe by the time I post this video, there'll be other things that Sideshow shares. However, EFX decided to introduce a Bo-Katan helmet that's going to be a limited edition. I believe it is going to retail somewhere around $700 or something like that. So it's a pretty limited edition Bo-Katan sort of screen captured helmet. Like they took screen references and and made this as lifelike as possible and as accurate to the show as possible. So I like what EFX is doing, sort of making limited props and making them high end. Sometimes they take a really long time to deliver to you. However, I'm glad that this is being made. And guys, that's pretty much a wrap for Sideshow Con, days 1 and 2, at least from what I've seen thus far. Maybe they post something. It's 5 o'clock here on the Eastern side here. Maybe it's 2 over there. So maybe they post some more stuff today. There's been some deals here and there. Let me know what you guys have thought of the con so far. It's kind of cool. I mean, for those who can't go to San Diego Comic-Con, Sideshow is deciding to save money and not buy a booth there, rent a booth rather, and then go and make their own con online and just create their own event, which I'm starting to understand why that makes more and more sense over time. So I think I'm starting to get it. That said, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all from me for now, guys. Thank you so much. Catch you in the next one. Peace out. Bye. Later. Bye.